Silver Dollar City has been on our theme park bucket list for years, and we finally made a visit happen, and we did it for Derek's birthday. Silver Dollar City is located in Branson, Missouri, and from where we live, that's about a 14-hour drive to get there. It's roughly the same distance as it is for us to drive down to Orlando, Florida. So needless to say, Silver Dollar City is quite the distance away from us, and it's not a park that we can just visit over a weekend. It's tough because if you were to present us with the option to drive 14 hours to Orlando or 14 hours to Branson, there's just so much more to do in Orlando, roller coaster wise, as well as multiple parks that we could break up the drive by stopping at on the way there. Driving out to Branson from southwestern Pennsylvania is a bit on the more boring side, and there's really only one park that we could hit up on the way, that's Six Flags St. Louis. So you can figure out why we opt to drive to Orlando on an annual basis, and we've only been to Branson once. So yes, we would love to return to Silver Dollar City because we truly loved our experience there. It'll just most likely be a few more years before we make the trek back. Taking all of this into consideration, we did a lot of research in planning our time at the park. We wanted to squeeze the absolute most out of our days. We are roller coaster enthusiasts, meaning we want to ride all of the thrill rides and probably more than once. We're also content creators, so we do a ton of filming and photography in parks, and we're also a family with children. So to say going to theme parks is this insane balancing act, especially parks that we've never been to before, would be an understatement. Additionally, we brought my mom and my sister Ruby with us. This was a big trip going somewhere that we had never been before. My parents love Dollywood, so Silver Dollar City has always been on my mom's bucket list as well. Having the two of them along with us made our trip so much more memorable. Before I get into the 5 things we wish we'd known before going to Silver Dollar City, do me a favor and drop me a comment below. Have you ever been to Silver Dollar City before? And if so, what is your favorite attraction in the park? So as with every amusement park, Silver Dollar City has its quirks. And even though we did our research, we still did learn a few things after spending a few days here. So here are the 5 things we wish we'd known before going to Silver Dollar City. Number 1, the parking is free. There aren't many amusement parks with free parking anymore. In fact, I can literally count on one hand the parks I know of that offer a free parking option. Parking prices have gone through the roof lately. So Silver Dollar City offering free parking is a massive benefit and a huge selling point to this park. Just be aware, you cannot see the park entrance from the parking lot. So depending on how busy the park is when you visit, Silver Dollar City has several parking lots that are very untraditionally situated. This is simply due to the terrain that the park sits on. So if you're expecting a big, flat Kings Island or Cedar Point style parking lot, you will not find it here. Of course, there is a section of paid premium parking that you can take advantage of if you want to park as close as possible, but we opted to utilize the free parking for our visit. So after parking, you can take a tram, a bus, or walk to the park entrance from most of the parking lots. There were a few that were only accessible via tram or bus. From where we parked every day that we were there, it was about a 10-minute walk from our car to the front gate. Now, I specify that was from our car to the park entrance because it was almost all downhill to walk that direction, which means it's almost all uphill to get back to your car. So we would highly suggest riding the tram back. Speaking of which, number 2, bring your hiking boots. So Silver Dollar City is the most challenging amusement park to walk out of all the parks we have ever been to, and we've been to quite a few. If you've ever been to Hershey Park or Busch Gardens Williamsburg, you know that these parks have their challenging hilly sections. But those are just small sections of the park, and most of the rest of the walking is fairly level and easy to traverse. All, and I mean all, of Silver Dollar City is either walking downhill or walking uphill. There is very little level ground. And it's not just a slight grade. At some parts, there are steep, sometimes super challenging grades to traverse. So we have 2 children, and when we visited Silver Dollar City, we were in the double stroller phase of our lives. We have since grown out of that, thankfully. But let's just say we, mostly Derek, definitely got our workout in from pushing that stroller up and down Silver Dollar City's hilly terrain. So just take that into consideration when you're planning your trip to Silver Dollar City. Wearing comfortable shoes is always a must at amusement parks, but you're definitely going to want to bring something with very solid support behind them. And if you're bringing a stroller, just bring the lightest one you have. Number 3, feel free to skip the souvenir cups. We almost always buy souvenir cups, especially when we're going to be at a park for multiple days. It's simply the best bang for your buck when it comes to keeping hydrated. However, we did not buy them at Silver Dollar City. Part of the reason for this was the initial price. It was a bit higher than most parks we go to. Plus, then you still had to pay a small fee every time you filled your cup up afterwards. Normally, souvenir cups are a one-time fee and then they're free to fill up, or at least they're free for the first day or your week of purchase. Another reason we decided to skip the souvenir cups was that they were an awkward design. They did not have handles like traditional souvenir cups. They were shaped more like a mug with a handle on the side instead of a handle at the top. Every other souvenir cup we've ever bought has had a handle that we just hang off of our stroller, but not these ones. I honestly don't even know how we would have carried these around. So for those reasons, we just opted to stick with bringing our own water bottles with us. And on that front, the staff at Silver Dollar City wins the award for being amazing. Not only because the staff at the food stands would give us cups of water for free, but they would happily offer to fill our entire water bottles for us. Plus, we found plenty of water bottle filling stations around the park. You know, the ones that are specifically made for water bottles, so you don't have to stand at a water fountain for a year filling up a large water bottle. Bringing our own refillable water bottles into the park saved us money while still keeping us hydrated. Plus, as usual, we brought lemonade packets and liquid IV to add to our water to keep things from getting boring. In other words, even though their souvenir cups were kind of on the meh side, their water policy was one of the best we've ever encountered. Number 4, birthday discounts. If you or anyone in your party is celebrating their birthday while you're at Silver Dollar City, even if it isn't the actual day, it can be the 7 days prior to your visit or the 7 days after, you can stop at the general store for a birthday button. If you've ever been to any of the Disney parks, you know that you can get free buttons for celebrating quite a lot of things, and this is very similar. Here's the thing though, this isn't just a fun little free souvenir to wear so people will wish you a happy birthday around the park. This button actually has value. Your birthday button gives you a free small bag of kettle popcorn, plus discounts on food and merchandise at select locations. And it's not just any discount, it's a 20% off discount. The whole reason we were going to Silver Dollar City was to celebrate Derek's birthday, and it ended up being the day before we visited Silver Dollar City. My sister Ruby's birthday was also 4 days before our visit. We didn't know about the birthday button thing until we were leaving the park after our first day. Needless to say, picking those buttons up was our first stop on our second day. What an incredible, fun way to celebrate birthdays. Number 5, a heads up on their parent swap policy. Do you know what parent swapping is? Pretty much every amusement park has some rendition of the same policy. If a family has a child who's too small to ride a ride, one parent can wait through the regular line, and after riding, the other parent can swap spots and ride the ride, skipping the regular line by either walking up the exit lane or the fast pass queue. We have been to over 50 different amusement parks across the United States, and every single park puts a slightly different spin on this concept. Silver Dollar City is no different. Their policy is strange and a little bit difficult to navigate, so let me explain so you're more prepared than we were. Silver Dollar City's policy is clearly designed for a set of parents with one child, and it follows Silver Dollar City's strict no second ride policy. Let's use Outlaw Run as an example. Following Silver Dollar City's parent swap policy, Dad will get in the regular line and ride the ride. Mom and the too short to ride child will walk up the exit ramp and wait for Dad to get off the ride. When Dad gets off, Mom will immediately take his vacated seat on the ride and ride the roller coaster while Dad waits with the too short to ride child. This sounds normal, right? Where Silver Dollar City splits from the norm, though, is they will not allow anyone to ride the ride twice. Our experience at most other parks has been Dad can walk through the regular line with a partner, in our case, our daughter Braylon, because she is tall enough to ride Outlaw Run, while Mom waits at the exit with the too short to ride child, in our case, our son Leander. When Dad gets off the coaster, most parks will allow the partner, in our case, our daughter Braylon, to ride the roller coaster again with Mom because there's an empty seat beside her anyway, why not fill it? Silver Dollar City will not allow this to happen. And this was not clearly explained to us when we asked about their parent swap policy, which caused a bit of a, well, let's call it a discussion on the ride platform with a ride op who was unfortunately not so nice. In other words, Derek, my mom, my sister, and Braylon waited through the regular queue to ride a roller coaster. When they got off, I was going to swap and ride with whoever wanted to ride again. No, I had to ride the ride alone, even though there was an empty seat next to me. Silver Dollar City's policy is that no one can ride a ride twice in a row. We connected these dots later when we rode Time Traveler. The coaster came back into a completely 100% empty station. We asked if we could simply ride again, and the ride op said, no one can ride twice. You have to exit the ride and go back through the entire queue. Riding roller coasters is fun, and if my husband is a die-hard roller coaster enthusiast, I'd consider myself an enthusiast light. In other words, I'm not one of those people who has to ride every single roller coaster so I can rack up my coaster count. If Derek rides a ride and says that it's super rough, don't ride it, I'm 100% okay with skipping that ride. But I'm also prone to skipping roller coaster rides simply because I don't like riding them alone. I would much rather ride with a partner. So, Silver Dollar City's parent swap policy was a huge bummer for me. I always send Derek through the line as the first rider to wait the longest through the line while I entertain the kids who cannot ride. This leaves me to always be a single rider as the swap at Silver Dollar City. After running through this scenario a few times, we then learned that we could kind of cheat this system. We discovered that the second parent, the one waiting at the exit, can have a partner wait with them to ride. So in our case, Derek, my mom, and Braylon would go ride a roller coaster. My sister Ruby and I would wait at the exit with Leander, who was too short to ride any of the major attractions. When Derek, my mom, and Braylon got off the ride, Ruby and I would swap with them and get on, meaning I would have a partner to ride with, which always beats riding alone. Unfortunately, our experience with this policy at Silver Dollar City is a bit tainted, mostly because we had such a poor first experience using this policy, and the ride op who was not too happy that we didn't thoroughly understand how the policy precisely worked, and was quite rude about the whole thing. It was hot, maybe he was having a bad day, but his attitude in explaining things to us was not the best. In fact, he was downright hostile. After we figured this out, we had no problem at all, but we wish we had known the logistics of their parent swap policy a little bit more thoroughly before going to the park. So to recap, if you're parent swapping at Silver Dollar City, their policy is similar to other parks. One parent will wait through the regular line with your party to ride the roller coaster. The parent waiting with the two small children will walk up the exit and meet the first parent as they are getting off the ride and will immediately take their empty seat. Anyone who rode the ride with the first parent cannot ride a second time. However, the second waiting parent can bring a partner up the exit that they can ride with. Since we had my mom and sister with us, we split our party so that the second parent would always have a partner to ride with. After all, riding roller coasters is most fun when experienced with a partner. There you have it, 5 things we wish we'd known before going to Silver Dollar City. This truly is a beautiful, lovely park. The atmosphere is filled with Midwest charm, the attractions are top-notch, the shows were incredible, seriously, do not miss the shows. We had a wonderful, super fun time. Time Traveler is clearly the star attraction of the park. I could ride that roller coaster a million times in a row and it would never get old. It's just so unique and fun. If you're not into super thrill rides, there are still so many fun things to do for the whole family at Silver Dollar City. The shows, the different family attractions, the atmosphere, the food, the train ride. This park is beautiful, and we truly wish that it wasn't so far away from us. If you found this information helpful, would you do me a favor and like this video? That simply tells YouTube to show this video to other people who might be searching for similar helpful tips as they plan their own trip to Silver Dollar City. Like I said, we've been to over 50 different amusement parks within the United States. So which park would you like me to give tips and tricks on visiting next?